Hi, babies. Come on, out the way. Good boys. Yeah. Thank you, baby. What's a minute? Good boy. There you go, Grumpy. Love you. Before anyone says anything, I've got to clean out their enclosure. They've just woken up and they've got, you know, poops and leave-ins all around the place. So I've got to clean them, and I'll do that later. But they're going to have their breakfast now, okay? Thank you. I'm going to go to the garden centre in the village. I need to get some hay and I need to get some wood shavings for my guinea pigs and then redo their enclosure. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. Oh, and I come back, make a cup of tea and crack on with the day. Success! I would have filmed, but obviously I had my hands full because there are big fucking bales of hay and a massive bag of wood shavings, so I couldn't physically do that. Boys are loving the freshly done enclosure. They've got the hay box over there and some fresh hay in the corner. I've put their little hidey there so that they can hide themselves away, but we can still see what they're doing. We've got our treat ball, some balls and chew sticks. I've got some fairy lights around here. I've got two little houses in the corner, and I'm going to be making another deck so they'll have like 2 floors to their situation. Good chow. Hello and welcome to another episode of Bookish and Bewildered. Today we're talking about Cackle by Rachel Harrison. This is a book that my sister gave to me to read. Now, you don't know my sister, but she's really, really into romance novels, very heavily into the mushy stuff. That isn't my vibe. I'm more dark academia, vampires, brooding, morally grey characters, that sort of thing. I'm not into romance. So I was a little bit skeptical when she told me to read this book because I wasn't really sure what I was going to get myself into. And yet, I loved it. I loved it with a passion. Here's the setup. Annie, who is our main character, gets dumped by her long-standing trash bag of a boyfriend. So she accepts a teaching job in a small village in upstate Manhattan. The locals are really friendly and warm, and she loves her new apartment, and she starts to settle in and makes an unusual friend. Sophie, which was her name, takes Annie under her wing. Sophie is glamorous, ageless, intelligent, and wise, but the locals seem a little bit freakishly afraid of her. Sophie wants Annie to stop apologising because she's one of those people that just apologises for everything. Sophie wants her to stop doing that and start living. Sophie also wants Annie to forget about her toxic trash bag ex-boyfriend and to also realise that turning 30 and being single isn't the end of the world. They drink wine together, they have coffee dates together, they go to the farmer's market together, and Annie starts to feel a little bit less lonely. Although she is still pining for her trash bag ex-boyfriend and hoping that they're going to get back together again. Sophie does not approve of Annie's hopes to get back together with this awful man. She wants her to be independent and step into her power instead. Just step into her power as an independent single woman in her 30s, just rocking it in a new town, fresh start, fresh leaf, turning it over, starting her life anew, she wants her to grab life by the balls and squeeze as hard as possible because she don't need no man. Annie starts to have suspicions that there might be more to her friend than meets the eye, and that Sophie might be a witch. I found this book to be an absolute delight. Originally, I struggled to get into it. I had a lot going on at the time, to be honest, and I wasn't really focusing on reading the book. You know, when you're sitting down with something and you're just reading the first paragraph about 20 times and you think, look, I'll come back to this when I have more time and mental capacity to read and pick up a book and actually enjoy what I'm doing. So what I did was download Cackle to my phone via Audible, and I was listening to it whilst I was at work and just pottering and getting through a mountain of my to-do list, and I flew through it in a day. It just went by, and then I reread it the next day and the next day. So I've read this book about, I'd say 6 times now. So needless to say, I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed seeing Annie's character arc as well, and how she has this full circle moment at the end of the book. To be completely honest, Annie was excruciatingly annoying at times, especially when she doubted Sophie for incredibly flimsy reasons, or when she backslid with a trash bag ex-boyfriend. But that being said, Annie pulled through and didn't let me down. Now, there were shades of The Witches of Eastwick, practical magic, and charmed about this book. And what was additionally delightful is the fact that the female cast were 30s plus. They exist! Who knew? For whatever reason, it seems that some people have a love-hate relationship with this book. From what I've heard anyway, it definitely ticked all the boxes for me. I would say it's definitely the kind of book to put in a care package if you know somebody who's going through a really tough breakup and you just want to make them feel a little bit better. This book is about the magic within, the power of friendship, and the power of women. I cannot wait to read Thirsty, which is also by the same author. It's apparently got a vampire twist to it, so intrigued. I am intrigued. She writes her characters incredibly well, especially women. I think I found a new favourite author to add to my list. So there we go. That was my review of Cackle by Rachel Harrison. That's basically it. Thank you for sticking around. I'm going to carry on drinking my coffee. And I will see you in the next episode, my darlings. Toodles!